Hi everyone, welcome again to part 2 of July 2024 reading, the monthly reading. If you haven't had a chance to check it out as yet, I have already released part 1, during which we did a brief recap of the last few months of messages that were coming through. Then we did a quick energy clearing session. Oh God, even just thinking about that, I'm being brought back to my throat chakra, right? That's how sensitive it can be sometimes. So yeah, we did that. So if you would like to receive that quick energy clearing and healing, go ahead and check that video out. And then we launched into some channeled information that came through. But now what I would like to do is what I suspect that I would need to do, which would be to put out an intuitive card reading counterpart to that video. And the reason why is because it's just a slightly different way of receiving the information. I can feel you guys here, and I can feel your energies of, you know, all of those who will potentially watch this video, whether or not they make a choice for that potential eventually. And it's a different feeling from when I'm on camera, because part of my brain then becomes a little bit occupied with knowing that I'm being seen. And it's also different from doing a live intuitive counseling reading, because in that case it's just a different flow of energy as well. So we love our intuitive card readings, and of course if you enjoy having these types of readings and you like a personal reading for yourself, please do feel free to hit up my Etsy page. Yay! The one and only A Compassionate Heart, no spaces. Okay, that's the name of my shop. Go ahead and book your reading today or tomorrow. And 2 more things about that. As you know, you can book your reading today and then select any time within the year or in the future, really, it doesn't matter, that you would prefer to have that reading filled. And also we do payment plans for your pleasure and your convenience. And anything else? No, let's jump right into this reading. Of course, use your own discernment. So let's see what messages are coming through for us for the month of July. So the first thing I'm feeling a little bit is like a bullying energy. It's almost feeling like someone shoving me a little bit. You know when you have, oopsies, you know when you have, I just looked down, it's 2 minutes, 22 seconds, and I caught a glimpse of that card that fell off the table. It's a 6 of Cups. It's kind of far where it fell. Hold on. Did you know that feeling when you have a conversation with someone and you walk away feeling as though you've been shoved almost? That's the energetic feeling here. And look at the card that fell off the desk. It almost wants to just do that. It's like, right? That's the sound I'm hearing. So 6 of Cups in this case is referring to some type of connection that maybe at some point has, see, I'm saying has. I wanted to say had, but it's has a certain level of warmth to it. So you may be experiencing a little bit of turmoil or turbulence is the better word in a connection with somebody. Maybe the connection is going in and out. Maybe you're slipping through timelines with this person or different versions of this person. Maybe you're occupied with something, and so you keep slipping back in and out, and the person could feel your occupation with something else. So maybe you have pressing matters if you're trying to forge a new friendship or maybe start a new business or something in one area, but you know there's another area of your life that's calling your attention. Maybe you're going through a divorce, or maybe you are a part of a project that has been ongoing and you need to finish that out first. Whatever this is, it's giving split energy, and this is understandable because this is just a world we live in, and we do our best to be able to multitask, right? But what I'm getting here for you is it's just that this card is this card, yeah, let's say that, is reflecting maybe the tension that the other person may feel at what they perceive to be an unstable energy. And true to effect, it is an unstable energy, but it could be for a valid reason. All right. So whatever this is referring to, just keep it up. Now, keep it up. Like, just keep going. Make sure that you're doing what it is that you need to do. Interestingly, I don't know if this is for somebody tying into this message, or if it's a message coming in for somebody specifically, and it's, you know, because sometimes your guides step in and say something, but I'm getting that somebody here may have to have some type of intuitive I say surgery, like a etheric surgery or whatnot. You know, we do that on my in my Etsy shop. through the intuitive counseling listing, although you don't have to do that with me. In fact, when it's time for you, if this message is for you about the intuitive, yeah, see, they keep saying intuitive. Okay, maybe somebody needs to see me, right? But it doesn't have to be me. What I'm saying is, when it comes time for you to get some procedure done, Spirit will bring the appropriate person in for you and whatnot. But anyway, so that's just coming along with this message. But just as I was saying, keep dotting your I's, crossing your T's, because if you're not putting things into perspective the right way, you could be kind of going off left and right and seeing things wrongly and whatnot. So you definitely want to get into the right frame of mind. So I would say the best approach is to take a very pragmatic approach first, button down the practical things. If you have decisions you need to make in your practical 3D world, nail that down, because that's foundation, right? And then within that, once you have that foundation or that container built, then you can start to pour into it. And so I would now ask you to consider your mental space in alignment with that. If you know that your job, whatever it is, in whatever area of your life it is calling you to erect the container and to build the structure, basically a foundation for something, focus on that. And then then you get to fill that container. But between those two tasks of building the container first and then filling the container, be mindful, continuing the June 2024 focus on mindfulness, be mindful of how you use your mental energy. Don't be focused on the building the container and then you're like nervous and stressed about the filling and this and that, and then don't be focused on filling and then you're stressing out because you haven't done the appropriate measures or the measurements. They're saying measurements and containers to fill so it's like building a house. If you have to build a house, you can't be focusing on furnishing before you focus on building the foundation and putting in the sheetrock and all of that. And once you're putting in your furniture, if you didn't build the foundation properly and you don't have the drywall and all of that up properly, then guess what your house is in shambles. So you see how there's a call to be focused. As I look down, 7 minutes 7 seconds, there's a dual call here. One call with the 7 is to focus on building the container. The second call 7 here is to focus on then pouring into it. And look at this next card. As I look down with 722, look at this right here, right? Look at her literally bringing things that now she can fill. So that's an early message that's coming through. And it's interesting, but I definitely get a call that there's like 13 messages that want to come through. For the month of July, obviously those 13 don't need to come through my channel in this, quick reading, but keep an ear out and an eye out for messages that are coming through to you. Gosh, these cards coming through for you in your everyday stream of channeling and work that you do, because Spirit talks to you. Okay. Here's another set, right? So again, this waiting. Here's one person waiting. And then here's this like breakdown. I'm getting a sweet breakdown here. So whoever this reading is for, you may be literally, yes, you may be building something, maybe working towards something. I feel for somebody here, this is an artistic project, a creative project. Maybe you literally do art or something. Whatever it is that you're doing, you may not realize it, but in the act of building, what you're also doing is engaging in a happy dismantling of what was. And when we dismantle what was, when we get rid of something, isn't the best way to get rid of something to be focused not on the getting rid of it and not on the sadness and the grief of something moving out of our life, some form, people, places, things, situations, ideas, forms, right? And we don't care about the forms. We care about the energy, right? Because the forms are built upon the energy which exists in the non-physical. You only experience these non-physical energies as forms, people, places, things, situations, ideas, right? Because they are extending into this third dimension, which by nature has a physical component to it. So that's why we say thoughts are things. The things that you're seeing and engaging with are actually thoughts, but they express as things here in the physical third dimension. All right. So, excuse me, what I wanted to say is enjoy the happy dismantling of what was, these old energies moving out. And the way you enjoy them is by focusing on what is to come. What you would like, not even what is to come, because we understand that if you're focusing on what is to come, you're giving a snapshot, now moment, now moment, now moment, directive to the universe or your higher self to mimic or produce in your physical reality, manifest in your physical reality, make material in your physical reality, same words. What it is that you're giving it a snapshot for. So if you say it's to come, it's to come, it's to come, it's to come, that's what the universe is hearing. It's going to give you a form, person, place, thing, situation, idea, that is a manifestation of a moment that has yet to come for you. So it's the same as saying trying. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. The universe is just going to give you trying manifestations. If you say, I already have this, this is already the case, and you focus on that, you move as if, what you're doing is you're sending that out. The universe is going to give you that in spades. The universe doesn't play favorites. It literally just reflects back to you your beliefs. That's it. That's it. And depending on your level of spiritual awareness, consciousness, some people may say maturity, whatever you want to say, you are able to see that or you're not. Okay? It's just what it is. And no matter what, just keep moving towards practicing the art or cultivating the art ability to be in every now moment, as many now moments as you can, as in the end, as they say, 11 minutes 11 seconds. See, it's like what are the words? Live in the end. Don't you right now you have a hoopty, right? Like your car doesn't work, it's on and off, right? Don't keep living in a moment that is saying I will get a new car or I want a new car, which both of those imply lack of a car, right? And the universe is going to just give you stuff that's just not going to really amount to you having a stable car. You have to get to a point where you're so decisively ready for this car that it's practically here already. Then boom, here it is. And so you live in the end, move as if you already have the car, then just keep moving in that way and let the physical world manifest it for you. And this is where divine timing comes in the sense that you may think that, oh, it's going to pop out of thin air, but technically it does. But really what you're doing is you are conditioning the conditions within your own energy field through your belief, because it's just your belief, 12 minutes, 12 seconds, and you're jumping to timelines in which that is the reality. And when you jump into those timelines in which that is reality, now the people, places, things, situations, ideas, the forms that will bring this to you, right, are going to be mobilizing to. It's just like they said in The Alchemist, when you have a desire, the world, well, of course I'm going to screw the saying up, right? You can't hit it verbatim, guys, give me a break. But it's something like the world moves in order to give you what it is that you desire, right? This is what it is. But as we know, the world doesn't change. You change by shifting into the appropriate timelines. That's all this is. This is navigation. Okay. So what I'm getting here, like I said, going back to this general message, embrace and engage in the happy dismantling of something, but not through your focus on the dismantling process, but through your focus on the joy of having what it is. 13 minutes, 13 seconds, the joy of having. See how she has it already? Having what it is that you are in the 3D looking like you're moving towards, right? So she may be like, oh, looking up here. Maybe the 3D world sees nothing in her hands, right? And they just see her looking at the moon like, I wish I had the earth or whatever, blah, 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 and wishing on the earth. But instead, she's playing it cool. She could even be looking at the moon and using the moon as a tool to lend itself to physicality, because sometimes it's easier to envision yourself having, for example, the earth when you're looking at a physical moon. They're both spherical. It just makes it less for your mind, less work for your mind. And so this is what people do when they use effigies and or they use dolls to represent people, or they build mini structures to do things, right? They're just, all they're doing these things that we have, these puppets, these all this stuff, they mean absolutely nothing. They're powerless. I don't care what faith, what religion, what Wicca, whatever it is you practice, those items have absolutely no power. Anything that is form, person, place, thing, situation, idea is not real. Okay? It is the belief system that you carry that imbues the power to it. And so that's why things like ritual, they're meaningless. But you believe it to be powerful, and it's passed down through generation. So it's just a whole bunch of people lending their power to an idea that it has power. And so guess what you're doing? In this 3D reality, you are literally imbuing it with power, and now it takes on a power of its own in a sense, but really what you're programming it to be. So don't get it confused. Because God is not out here, or source, or whatever you want to call it, out here recognizing power in form. It doesn't exist. It's you. So that's why if you want to dismantle something, you take away your power of belief. You think the military has power? It has no power over you. 15 minutes, 15 seconds. The only power it has comes from the people who choose to participate in that. And many people imbue these things with their ideas, with the ideas of enemies and ideas of safety and nationalism and power. And I'm having a gun and I'm having this, or I'm in control, or I did. People come to this. I'm just using this example of the military, but people come to these spaces. These things that are just pure concepts. If you see them in a non-physical, they're just constructs. You release the belief and they disappear. And we see that here when everybody puts down their arms. That's it. Now, if you want to keep tuning into a reality where you believe that when will everybody put down their arms, Jonelle? That's just then don't even bother telling me about it, because you are now tuning yourself to only the timelines that will support that idea. Now, if you are struggling with conditioning your mind to be open to possibility that is unlimited by your conditioning, then here's a tool, right? And I'm needing to learn this too, right? We're channeling this information, but we're here to learn, right? Do our best. Here's a tool I would suggest. Remember, if you can think back, hindsight is a really great tool for healing, number one, because all we're doing is healing our perceptions, but also it's a really great tool for helping us to really shift. So if you can think back to anything, could be a mundane event or something that was big, let's say a surprise birthday party, or God bless, an accident, or an illness that happened, or just you bumped into a friend. The night before, you had no idea that was even a possibility, let alone a probability. It had to have been a very strong probability for it to manifest out of all that was possible, and all through your belief was made more probable for that one to win out. It's the sperm that made it, okay? Think about it. Hey, what are you doing here? I made it, man. I made it. Yeah. So you had no idea that would come to pass. It was a surprise for you. And so when you think about it this way, you have to understand that there are things that can occur outside of your ability to feed into it, to believe in it, to muck it up, to boost it up, right? And so what I'd like you to do is understand that your mind is more malleable than you probably experience it to be. Open your mind to possibilities of things manifesting for you in your highest. And hopefully do your best to transcend any conditioning. It's the socio-cultural conditioning, this earthly conditioning that'll get you. It gets a lot of us. And understand that that's where we start to have ideas like miracles. You think Gandhi, God bless, how could he have pulled off that large of a peaceful protest? How? Before that even happened, many people, they wouldn't even conceive of it. And then those who conceived of it would see it rot with cool word. How often do we say that? But rot with challenges, right? Many people, if they're in their nihilistic state, what's the use? People in their pessimistic state, it's not going to happen. Think about it this way. People who are quote unquote realists, they are the ones who struggle the most, right? Yeah, where's A, B, C, D, E, F, G to create this thing? Yeah, struggle is your life. If you're such a realist, you're going to be struggling because you're locking yourself into timelines. But look what happened. His energy field was so strong enough, and his power of belief was so strong enough. That's a conduit. When people make these big marks on the world, they're conduits. And then if they're surrounded by others who, hear that call around the world, and they take the strength and they take the action steps to join that movement, boom, it's pulled off. So you see what I'm saying? You may call it a miracle, but of course in miracles, shout out, really just refers to a miracle as a change in perception, because we understand the only issue here is only ever your belief. That's it. It's only ever your belief. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm seeing these cards here, and we see the Queen of Wands showing up here, and we see this Justice card coming through, right? And look, first of all, isn't she the cutest? Look, she's like, hi. Super cute, right? Doing her thing. She's holding on to that beautiful gilded, bejeweled everything, not gaudily bejeweled, dear God, but bejeweled sunflower. That is the Queen of Wands. This is something you put a lot of work into. And look, even that little leaf, it almost looks like it needs to be pruned, right? But here we have the Justice card coming in with the sword. We don't play with the Justice card. Justice is out here like, hey, I'm not of this planet, I'm just coming through, And this energy, look at that sword. It's time to cut this what do you call it? Sunflower. So what is this next card? Magician. What is that? Emperor. Hanged Man. Where are we at? Okay, hold on. hold on. It's time to cut this. Now, let's look at her. If the beautiful Queen of Wands is like, but I put a lot of thought into this. Literally thought. That's all we're doing. Pumping things with belief. They're all meaningless, right? I just put a lot of, thought and concept and construct and all that into making this. We don't create while we're down here unless we are calling energies in alignment with Source. When you're in alignment with Source, you're in alignment with truth. That is a vibration that goes all the way up from the lowest dimension all the way up to the highest. 21 minutes, 12 seconds, 2112, from low to high. It doesn't terminate in any dimension because it's real. Only love is real. 21 minutes, 21 seconds. If something is not in alignment with the truth, with Source, with reality, as above, so below, if it's not in that alignment, then we cannot say it's being created. It is being made because it's outside of that alignment. And when we say made, we understand that, look at this tower. It's something that was made by what? Our false beliefs. Because if it's false belief, it terminates in some dimension. It doesn't terminate in the third dimension because we have this structure, and the structure is built upon something in the non-physical. It may terminate in the fourth dimension or fifth dimension or sixth dimension, right? Or whatever dimension or whatever plane, but it doesn't go all the way up because it ends. The structure is not something God created. And it's only the things that God created that is impermanent, that is timeless, that is real. So it vibrates with love. And that's why if you can do your best at 22 minutes, 22 seconds to tap into the frequency of love. And I'm not talking about this BS like, love you, oh my God. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about a frequency that flows through the heart chakra, right? If you, and other chakras, it's a vibration. It's a high vibration. If you can master your mind enough to get it to relocate itself in its only function, its only purpose, which is to align with love, you're literally tapping into the frequency that takes you zip all the way up. That is healing. That's unification. But as long as you are believing in things that are out of alignment, that are literally the I am not frequency, the self-doubt frequency, then you will be hanging on to forms, people, places, things, situations, ideas that are not founded upon love. They are founded upon fear in some derivation, and they need to be healed, right? So here we are with this beautiful Justice card coming through to what? Cut it. Now, this is why we have to have pruning seasons. So if this beautiful Queen of Wands is like, you know what? If Justice is coming through to remove this, then what am I doing still hanging on to this? My bad. I thought this was the one. I thought this was I'm hearing Holy Emperor. I thought this was the alignment. I thought this was whatever, the source from which I was meant to drink or tap into. But if Justice is coming to give me a tower moment here, I just have to step back and let this occur. And then She, Queen of Wands can wait and see, well, what's left after? If something is left after, the Justice card just rolls in to do her job gently, because it's the resistance to the pruning and the culling, so to speak, that makes us really struggle. But if we can allow for that form, person, place, thing, situation, idea, opportunity, 24 minutes, 24 seconds, to take its natural course in alignment with source, then we can feel free to then look at what's left after that, knowing that whatever's left after that is what we can motivate ourselves towards. Look at this. Now I want to put this here now on top of this other card, this waiting card. So what I'm seeing is whatever this thing is that you're needing to step into, that's on pause while you focus on a lot of things, that is partly on pause because you're still going through a culling process for yourself. For someone here, I'm seeing this has to do with a mother-in-law. This is a mother-in-law, not for everyone, God bless. Some of you are like, I'm not married. Okay, well, shout out, but not you, but feel free to watch, right? This portion. But look at this card. Okay, what are we doing here? Yeah, so yeah, it may have to do with a mother-in-law for someone. Maybe you need to get a mother-in-law energy settled, nipped in the bud. Justice needs to be brought to it. 25 minutes, 25 seconds, for example, using that example here because it's for somebody, at least one person, before you can step into whatever it is that you're so focused on doing. Sometimes we don't know that we need to have certain work done before we move into something. We just see what we want to move into and we want to move into it. Now, I think there was a message that came through in oh, that's where it was. If you follow this channel, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to have you. Then, last month or maybe it was in the beginning of June. I was a beloved guest. Can I say beloved? Yay! On Astro Shaman Pernell Bobby's astrology channel. And you can check in the archives and all of that. But one of the messages that came through, and I can't remember for which sign it was, but we know if it's coming through here, it's possibly for you guys in the collective, so go check it out. One of the messages is that slow doesn't always mean no. Sometimes it's just you have to slow down for a little bit. And to us, if you're like impulsive like me and you're like, come on, right? Then sometimes going slowly sucks. It seems like, oh, this is a no because I want it now and it's not happening now. So is this a no from the universe? Is it whatever? And in that case, when we're using our discernment to determine whether something is asking us to go slowly or whether it's asking us to just not do it at all, in those moments, we can stop and ask the divine, is there something I'm not seeing? Is this a matter of me needing to build something up first, rebuild something, or make amends to somebody, or settle energies? I actually heard it, settle scores. I don't know who that is. I'm getting about 3 of you guys watching. God bless you. Settle scores. Who are you? What are we doing? But it is what it is, right? So in this case, I do see that that's what's happening here. For a lot of you, you may be wanting to step into something, but right now is the time to let the Justice card come through and dismantle as needed. And really, we just need to take our minds off of oh my God, I'm afraid that the baby will be thrown out with the bathwater. Well, let's put it this way. If the Justice card is coming through and throwing out the baby with the bathwater, then you didn't need the baby and you didn't need the bathwater. Okay? Hopefully. I'm sorry, I don't know why. Something about that just sounds so bad when we say a baby involved, but here's the thing. We're also at that precipice of what we can call the Schrodinger's cat position, right? When the cat's in the box with some poison, the box is closed. All of us were doing our own thing, and we're like, okay. Eventually, we're like, did the cat eat the poison and die, or did it not eat it and it's still alive? Well, let's go check it out. But there's a moment before you go to open the door where both possibilities are true. Right? Both are still a possibility. Why? Because it's in the unknown to you. It's possible that the cat is still alive, or it's possible that the cat is not alive. Now, if you understand that your power of observation, 28 minutes, 28 seconds, is what organizes matter, right? Double slit experiment. Check it out. I'll say that again. If you understand that it is your power of observation fueled by what? Your beliefs, right? Fueled by your emotions, which are fueled by your, let's take it even further, fueled by your idea about whether that cat is still alive or has transitioned, God bless, to cat heaven. is fueled by your gut reaction, and that your gut reaction is fueled by your emotions, and your emotions are fueled by your thoughts, and your thoughts are fueled by your existential drive in life, right? It's your existential drive that colors everything below that, your existential desire, your will, right? And that in and of itself is fueled by your core beliefs. These core beliefs they're out there, and your core beliefs can only align with one of two things: either the reality that only love is real, or fear. In other words, I am or I am not. In other words, in oneness or duality, right? So these are there's a whole line here that goes on. But long story short, wherever you find yourself, before you know what something is going to be about, observe the period of Schrodinger's cat, 30 minutes, 3 seconds, 3003. Observe that period in which multiple personalities, what is that? Ooh, okay, get it, guys, get it. Multiple possibilities are there. Now, which of those possibilities you lean towards being, seeing and viewing, whether realistically or not, as more of a probability than the other is fueled by what? A lot. Your beliefs, your personality, 30 minutes, 30 seconds. You heard the guys just called it out, and here we see it coming back in. Your personality. Listen, you in that last lifetime would be seeing different possibilities and probabilities about that cat. But this lifetime, when you have a different personality matrix imbued into your journey this lifetime, you're going to be viewing different things. So do you understand how subjective these things ultimately are? But what you're doing, you're so powerful. You are so powerful as a materializer, as a somebody who makes things physical, as a manifester, that your very own beliefs about all the things that are possible in that Schrodinger's cat moment, compounded with your leanings into certain possibilities more than others, making them more of a probability than possibility, is going to condition the actual matter in that box. So you see, we don't care what's in that box. And in reality, at 31 minutes, 31 seconds, there are multiple versions of that box. So you think that you're having a linear moment, and it all happens in 3 seconds. Oh, dude, I wonder if homie's still alive. Let me go check. I bet he's not. And he opened the door, and then whatever, right? Oh my God, it's magic. He is. Or oh my God, I knew it. He's not. All of that, there's a lot that goes into that. That whole thing we just talked about is not, it's not that the cat is actually the control thing here, the control group, so to speak, the static that's just always is. No, you, based on your beliefs, have jumped timelines into certain realities. This is the power of observation. And so you don't realize it, but you are actually experiencing in physicality confirmation bias. You have ideas subconsciously, consciously, that conditions the field. You think you're opening a box, just like that, but all you're actually doing is opening the box onto what it is that you have already programmed the field to be. So if that doesn't liberate you a bit here, I don't know what will, because the liberation comes from the idea that you are not here to learn how to manifest. You're here to play around with it. You're here to understand the relationship between the subconscious and physicality. You're here to understand that the world does not change. There's not one world that changes. And doggone it, I don't care who you think you are. If you're like, I'm a chosen one, that's spiritual significance. As much as we're all out here, calling ourselves by names, visionary leaders, star seeds, light workers, all this and that. Yes, those could reflect past lifetimes and whatnot, but those are functions that we've stepped into by choice. You cannot look at what you do ever and deem yourself worthy or unworthy, let alone more worthy or less worthy than anyone else. That is spiritual significance. And in fact, that is the height of unreality, because the reality is oneness. So if you're in a state of oneness, that is the reality. Down here, if you're able to have a reflective thought on anything, short, tall, down here, up there, you're no longer in your healed mind. You are in a false state of reality. This is why we call it the dream. You've stepped down in dimension into such an individuated form that you literally have personalities, you have different past lifetimes, you have likes and not likes, you see the world in unique ways, all of these things. You have a name. Remember, there is no name but God's. Now, we don't know what that sounds like. Some people would be like, it's Om. Who knows, right? Who cares? Because remember, when you are in that state of isness, what is sound? You just are. Sound would have a differentiation there, right? Because it's like sound as opposed to what? Silence? As opposed to what? Vision? For 34 minutes, 34 seconds. And so you see, the oneness is such a state of being that we just literally struggle to conceive of. The same way that we literally struggle to viscerally conceive of this idea of there's no time. There's no linear action. These things don't exist at the highest level of the field. But you know what does? Love. That's that frequency that goes all the way up, because it's all there is. Everything else along the dimensions that speak to duality and polarity and all of this, we have made for ourselves. And you can call that free will. So you're down here thinking you're having these experiences that you're either trapped or exercising free will or whatever. But you have to understand that you are we all, we're at the bottom here. And so we are literally moving to the beat of things that we need to once again become more aware of, if that is your desire. Your desire down here is simple. Either choose love or fear. Although you will misperceive, because of the separated mind state, you will misperceive yourself as having multiple choices. Should I go here? Should I go there? Should I marry this person? Should I stay single? Should I do green or blue? This feels right, but that doesn't feel right. Oh, I'm so angry because this is the right thing to do and it's totally moral, and that person is, and I'm going to pick up a gun and I'm going to do like that. This is all based off of false ideas. So when you start to understand from that higher perspective, you start to see how frivolous and like a bit of a waste of your energy it is when you engage in warring with other people and creating enmity and choosing, because it's all you choosing, to see the world in a certain way. It is your own belief system, and then we'll move on from this, that cycles you into certain timelines. So for those of us who have chosen to take on, one thing I want to say about the name of God or source is just whatever it is, right? But when we say there's power in a name, 36 minutes, 36 seconds down here, of course we give power to our names here because names do carry frequency. But understand that the misperception about names is not that one person's name is stronger than another's, or this is their legacy and this. No, names literally do one thing and one thing alone. We have the oneness state, and when we create a name or a sound or whatever, it does carry meaning. But look what happens. It's still inside, because where are you going? You're not separating from God, but you're creating an individuation within source. And it's not because one is better or worse, it's function. That's why when we have the names of the angels, there's a function to it. There's not one Archangel Michael. There are many Archangel Michaels. They serve a function, right? And so when you look at your name, that's why when you look at your name, whether it's through soul contract reading, I definitely think you guys should check that out. That's pretty fun. Soul contract reading. If you're interested in that and you want to like a heads up for a great practitioner, just hit me up. I have a couple that I can suggest for you. But when you look at your name and you look at the phonetics of it, and you can see what your function is here, what fears you might experience, what your talents are. All these things, these are functions. They are not reflective of your real state. They are your aspects that you have chosen to imbue yourself with while you're down here in this individuated state. So what Spirit is trying to ask us to do is to get in alignment with a higher awareness of what things are. When you're moving in division from a higher perspective, you're moving mad, right? And then what they see us doing is punching air. We're all out here, speaking of punching air, this guy, right? Okay, this is a sadness card. This is literally, okay? And so we see that. And so that's why to heal oneself is about getting back in touch with self, with love, with self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is a beautiful way of saying I am. Hey, I am. I am what? Not I am Jonelle, because I'm not Jonelle, I'm temporarily Jonelle for the sake of this journey, but I'm speaking for the the part of me, the aspect of me that is eternal, that I align with. You can call it your higher self, you can call it your monad, you can call it whatever, depending on the discipline and the discourse you're tapping into. But look at here. What if this ding and this ding are the same? But down here it's got definition. And even here it's got a little definition. But the question is, what do both of these represent, right? Elsewhere. So as the Tao says, the first line of the Tao says, the Tao that can be expressed is not the real Tao. In other words, if we're talking about it, we're not even getting close to actually grasping what it really is, because reality, as we understand it, cannot really be reflected in the human language and experience at this time in human evolution. We're needing to move up in spiritual evolution, and as you move up in spiritual evolution, all you're doing is unifying yourself. That's why when you have these healing things, all we're doing is bringing the different aspects of you back into oneness with yourself. And that oneness, all your cute little aspects, past lifetime aspects, trauma aspects, all that, come together, and then you also come together, with your higher self, and then your higher self comes together with the other higher self, right? And then all the monads come together, and then what? Back to oneness. It's silence. There's no up, there's no down, there's no in, there's no out. That's 1 point perspective. When you have 2 point perspective, now you can observe others, and it's the blaming, right? Oh, you this, you that, you that. When you've got third point perspective, boink. Now, from this 3rd point perspective, you have the ability to see 1 and 2. You can reflect on the self because of what you see occurring between 1 and 2. But see, by the time you're hitting this, you're in these derivations, you're forgetting, 1, 2, and 3 are all the same. It's this, but individuated. Now imagine if you get 4th point, 5th point, 6th point, right? So you see, I guess the message that's trying to come through today is you have a lot of power over what it is that you make for yourself in this world. And if anything, it's a very fitting message coming off of the month of June, which asks us to create the conditions for reflection, for mindfulness. Remember, mindfulness is just boink, the creation of a space through your allowance, you allowing yourself to have a space to process your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings after you encounter a stimulus. Something happens, and instead of just something happens, I make an action. That's just doom doom. That's a boink boink, just like that. That's mindlessness. That's reactionary living. Instead of that, you think, oh, wow, this hit me. Let's create a space for me to cry it out, tell my story, get angry, reflect upon that. Why am I angry about this? Oh my God, it's not even about me, but it is. It's about me and my father, and all of that stuff. Give yourself the space to do it without judgment. Usually the reason why we don't have this space is because we don't want to face a feeling of what we think this stimulus means about us. Oh, you saw somebody in a nice relationship. Boom, now you're upset. Now you're lashing out. Now you're having a bad day. Now you're writing on somebody's chat somewhere, people on the internet, all this stuff. Now you're moping about the place. And the reason why is because you saw something outside of you, and you made that meaningless thing that has nothing to do with you mean something about your value, but you didn't catch that because you're moving mindlessly. You just emoted just like that. Now, when you have mindfulness, when you see something and it triggers you, you create the space for yourself to understand that. Oh my God, this is happening. What's going on? I know this is not really, and depending upon your spiritual maturity, I know this isn't even about me. No, not about me, dear God. I know this isn't even about them or whoever it is or whatever it is I just witnessed, because they're doing them. That has nothing to do with me. In fact, by the time I open my eyes, I'm looking at a different version of them because I'm jumping timelines based on my feelings right now. I'm in my feelings. Right? So you sit and you reflect. Why am I having this reaction? What is it that I actually want? I say I want this, but I'm moving like I don't actually want that. Why is there this discrepancy? Because I know that if there's something that I actually want and it aligns with spirit and I'm good to go in my energy field, there's nothing that can be denied to me. So if I'm saying I want A, but I'm getting Z or nothing at all, then I have to really take a look. It's inside me. Let's work it out. And while I work it out, I'm going to give myself a chance to think and reflect, but now I'm going to respond right? So that's when we have the stimulus, we reflect, we respond. That's mindfulness. Okay, 44 minutes. That's how you move in this world. And when you start to use more mindfulness in your life, what you're actually doing is you're creating the conditions for yourself, 44 minutes, 11 seconds, to when you encounter each of your Schrodinger's cat moments in life, where they're all throughout your days. Every day there's something like that, 44 minutes, 22 seconds. Remember, the Schrodinger's cat moment speaks to a moment where you actually do not know the outcome of something. You don't know what's on the other side of that door. So therefore, there are many possibilities. So depending on the energy that you're moving into this realm or this set of possibilities, you're the one informing what's on that other side of the door. 44 minutes, 44 seconds. Now, remember, there's nothing on the other side of the door except for what you will it to be. But you're willing things to be in there unconsciously through your unexpressed emotions, unresolved things. You're willing it. And you know that because your vibration is organizing matter to solidify, to give you back and reflect back to you what it is you're actually calling, whether or not you think it is, that is the case, to experience. This is confirmation biased, and it's just you moving in a certain frequency and jumping into timelines and experiencing that which you have made for yourself through your own belief. And that's why when we talk about shadow work, this is what we mean. If you don't like what you're receiving, if you don't like what you're seeing, if you don't like what you're experiencing, look under the hood. And then if you're like, I don't want to look under the hood, look at that. Why don't you want to look under the hood at 45 minutes, 45 seconds? Okay? All of this is caused to, look, stop. Guys, manifestation and mind control. We're out here. Robots. Set yourself free with wisdom. Okay? Also, remember, because you are such a manifester, remember, you're not learning to manifest, you do it every day. You've been doing it forever. You're learning to understand what you're doing in that process. You're learning to wield, right? And until you understand how much of a projector you really are, how much of the reality that you experience in the world, whether you see it through your TV, you overhear it at the bus stop, whether you go left one day instead of going right, how much of that you are directing. You are directing this reality. Okay? Again, you're not changing anybody. You are aligning yourself to timelines that are just going to reflect back to you what you carry within. But here's the thing. If you don't recognize what it is that you're calling and cycling yourself into, guess what? You're just moving. You're just doing things and you're experiencing it as linear reality. And you're digging yourself deeper by blaming other people. And this happened, that person did this, and da-da-da-da. And, and I can't, victim consciousness will keep you warped. Whole cultures warped for lifetimes. I'm talking generations. I'm talking lifetimes. And you'll go on to incarnate in other planets. You're going to bring that there with you too. So you have to work on this if it is your desire to step back into your awareness of your sovereignty. Your sovereignty, my friends, is never a question. You are sovereign. That's why you're here. You're here. You are making it all happen, right? Your sovereignty isn't a thing. But like we've said in many of our posts on this channel, how can you dupe? How can you capture? How can you trap a sovereign being? Except by making it believe that it is not sovereign. So when you're picking up arms, when you are leaving horrible posts about people online, when you are jumping on the gossip bandwagon and now hating someone else, when you're refusing to patronize a place because you saw it online and that they support one thing, when you're doing all of that, you're not affecting anybody else. You think you are. You're just cycling yourself into timelines. Now let's put it this way. If you've got a lot of people, you got people out here like saying these things on Instagram, like, hi, I'm one of them, right? I'm just channeling this information. But there are people who understand this and they don't even get up and they don't teach people because they don't need to. They're what are they doing? They don't want, that's not what they came here for. They didn't decide to assist other souls who are going through this planetary maze or just whatever, this learning school. They're here to get in and out. Right? 48 minutes, 48 seconds. But you also understand that just as we have sleeping people who don't understand this, we've got people in power who understand this 150%. Now, if you don't understand how powerful your energy is, the ability to manifest your energy, you literally can move mountains, but you don't realize that. And you understand it's not that you're moving the mountain, you're moving to timelines where that mountain is not there anymore. And it's very easy for people in power, whether you know it or not, to harvest your energy, to direct you to timelines that suit them by instilling in you a false paradigm about yourself, about the world. What is a terrorist? Okay? The algorithm's like, okay, check, right? What are these things? Think about it. What are these things? You wake up one day and now we have a new term. Now we have things on the news to support it. Now, who am I supposed to hate today according to this? Let me look around. Who am I hating because they're wearing that outfit or because they're this? There's no chosen anybody. So if you're buying into an idea there's a chosen group or you're a chosen person, we're all chosen because we're all one. And if we're all one, then no one's chosen. It just is. No one chooses you. You choose, right? And so this can be very hard for a lot of people if they feel like they don't matter, if they lack meaning in their life, or they're moving with as was it Rousseau? I don't remember who. Sorry, calling a philosopher out of their name maybe. Who said there's a God-sized hole within, right? If you're moving like you're in lack, you're going to be easily fed by something. And so I invite you in the month of July to start getting into alignment with what? You. As the guides have said, they said 2 months ago, God, 50 minutes, 50 seconds, is just mankind's current, note that, current word to refer to a concept of what? Self. That they have yet to recognize. That's it. In other words, you're praying outside of you because you've been programmed to do that lifetime after lifetime in the name of institutions you give your money away to, institutions you choose not to, you choose over a love because they don't align with your religion, for example, or they don't look like you, and the race and all this. This is BS. It's you buying into a false paradigm that was fed to you on this planet. It's fair game. All is fair in love and war on this planet. This is the schoolroom you're in. And you knew this when you came in here. The question is, am I going to remember love? Or am I going to fall for every form, person, place, thing, situation, idea that is an opportunity, that is a reflection, it's literally a manifestation, it's literally a wearing of matter over energy that is actually just reflecting false reality or fear. So if you are somebody who buys into institutions and buys into corporations and all this, and this CEO said this and that, and then, oh, and this person, did you see what they're wearing? And if you are using all of these excuses out of the name of normalcy and sociocultural acceptability to basically hurt other people, to see other people as less than, to see other people as better than. If you have an idea, you may say, I don't see anybody as less than. Then I would ask you to look in the mirror and get real with the cognitive dissonance that's rolling out the red carpet for you. Because if you can say that you see one group or one job or whatever as being more advantageous or better or just whatever through your programming, then you by default have an idea of something that is less than. This is a superiority, inferiority tapeworm that's been put into our minds. So it's division. That's all it is. It's division. And division on this planet wears many names. It is your mark of your spiritual awareness to be able to discern the difference. All right? So in this month of July, we're being asked to continue with mindfulness. Mindfulness is just going to be a way of life. And with that mindfulness, you're equipping yourself to better navigate. Navigate what? This one world? No. Navigate the many different realities that are actually here for you. That's all you've been doing, timeline jumping, this entire life. Through your thoughts, your beliefs. That's all you're doing. But you experience it as a linear, everyday, boop-ba-doo, watching the paint dry, Now it's 4:56. Oh, now it's 4:57. I got to do this first and then that. That's an illusion. You in 1 minute, it's filled with so many now moments. You're jumping so fast you can't even pick it up. And the thing is, we wait to see the manifestations in our physical in order to determine that a jump has occurred. But that's not how reality works. You're a sovereign being, so you say it and so it is. The question is, can you hold that reality, that assumption, that vibration long enough for you to actually see that made manifest in your life? And to answer that, you have to consider your programming. How flexible are you with your mindset? Ideological flexibility is very important on this planet, because literally your thoughts are things. If you're rigid, if you're hard-headed, if you are stubborn, if you're locked into certain cultures and certain religions and ideals and this and that, this is all you're doing. You're building a box around your head that is very strong. This is why we say hard-headedness. A lot of our words in English refer to the energy. But when you allow yourself to exercise ideological flexibility, you give yourself the opportunity to engage with certain beliefs, to have experiences, and to naturally change with that. That's the nature of energy. That's the flow. It's unhindered. But then you start to understand, when you understand that your programming comes with bells and whistles and alarms that go off anytime you start to step outside of it, then you will be better able to navigate those moments of like, oh my God, I'm making a mistake, or if I don't do this, my culture's not going to accept me, excuse me, my family's not this. And these are all little, what do you call them? Programmed like deterrence, right? And we see this in people. Oh, lo and behold, so-and-so just told me they voted for this one, or so-and-so just said they did this procedure, or they didn't do this procedure, or so-and-so went to this school, and or this person looks like that. And or you're at a dinner party and you just mentioned something that is your opinion, and now you've got ops. Nothing but ops at the table. Now you're breaking bread with ops, opposition. People who are trained by their own programming to squash those who come to live their truth. A lot of people there, we have a lot of sleepers, you won't know them, right? They don't even know themselves that they're doing it. We have a lot of sleepers who are truth tellers in our community, and we cast them aside because they don't look the part, they don't sound the part, they're not the right level of education, they're drunk, they're whatever, right? Go ahead, continue to just let go of your truth tellers, and excuse me, you'll continue to live in the same timeline you're in. But remember, you have to listen to people, and you have to ask yourself, why did I dismiss that person? A lot of people dismiss other people because when they can focus on another person's lowness in society in whatever way, maybe they don't have as good a job or whatever, it's really feeding your own ego to feel better than. And that is something you have to look at. All right. So anyway, it's 57 minutes, 28 seconds. We can go on about this. Let's just pull one more card. Let's see a card for surrender to creativity. Wow. Surrender to creativity. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. Remember, there are always going to be things things you don't know. Like I know I don't know how to fix a car. Things you didn't know oh my God, I guess I knew how to basket weave. I didn't know that I knew that, but I guess I did. And then there's that fourth category, the inconceivable, otherwise known as things you don't know. And as long as we have things that we don't know in the world, in existence, in all that is, then it means anything you think you know now or you believe to be true because some guy in a pulpit said it, or somebody with the text said it, or just whatever, it's all subject to subjectivity. Right? We don't know. And as a shadow worker, show me the expert, show me the person who's leading this religion or that. Like, let me look into their energy field. I'll list the shadows. They're doing the same things we are. But in this lifetime, they've been given a platform, whereas the local person at the bus stop driving the bus has not. But sometimes you look at the spiritual merit between the two, the heart that motivates things, and there's no comparison, right? So this is about asking you to open the third eye. Remember, a third eye without heart is meaningless. It just means, oh my God, I can see the non-physical. Anyone in their right mind can do that because it's just an ability. It's the equipment you have. But if you don't have the heart with the frequency to condition that third eye and to condition your entire field, you're moving mad. You're just another metaphysical person. And everybody's metaphysical. They just have forgotten it because they've been deprogrammed. And some people choose not to have that as part of their soul contract this lifetime so that they can focus on pursuing other things. So that's another thing. Not everybody is here to do the healing journey or to wake up in this lifetime. Some people are here to do projects from the other side or from other planets that have nothing to do with us. But if you're watching this video, then you're most likely here to elevate your spiritual awareness and your consciousness, and you likely have a mission to assist others to align with their higher frequencies. Okay, God bless you. You know where to find me if you'd like some personal readings. But super hugs. Bye.